Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be watching and reacting to British Schools Explained. But recently my girlfriend became a school teacher and that got me interested. What are the differences? Of course, doing lots of videos for the UK. What are the differences between our school systems? British school system, what's it like over there compared to over here? So I'll try to give my flavor of what's different here, and I'm sure it's quite a bit better over there. We've all heard of the American school system, the school system here in the US, and it's not overly high on the world ranks. So let's see what this is all about. Let's see if this is your experience when you went to school, and if anything has changed and how things have changed since you were in school in the UK, if indeed you were in school in the UK. So let's find out right now. 4 minutes, it's a shorter video, so let's see this.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Thompson and this is Anglophenia. Now, many of the most beloved stories from the UK are set in schools, all the way from Tom Brown's School Days to Harry Potter and the History Boys. But the British school system is remarkably different from that in the US, so much so that it's often the first thing that Americans ask me to explain to them. So, here is the Cliff's Notes version of how the British school system works, but study up because there's going to be an exam at the end of the video.
Hate that. I'm glad I never have to hear that again.
Public schools and state schools. What Americans call private schools are called public schools in the UK, and what you call public schools, we call state schools. There are also some private schools that don't call themselves public schools, they call themselves private or independent schools, but most of the ones that Americans are thinking about, you know, where people live in a mansion and wear a very silly uniform, are called public schools.
Yeah, so that's our private school, and you wear uniforms. I did not go to a private school. I went to, as you would say, a state school. Is that correct? I'm already blanking on it. Here, a public school in the US, which I loved. I actually really enjoyed school. A lot of people will complain about it. We have here, you go through kindergarten or preschool, then you have elementary school. You move on to middle school for 2 or 3 years. Mine was just 2 years. It was 7th and 8th grade. And then you move on to high school, which is 4 years. Sometimes schools, especially private schools, will have, K through 8, kindergarten through 8th, and maybe even, even before like toddlers, almost like a daycare. And then you're just at that school until 8th grade, then you move on to a high school. But it definitely does vary here. People in the UK have, primary school is like our elementary school, I think. And then your secondary school is like our high school, even though that's probably loose definitions of it. And once again, if I'm correct with that.
Got it? Most state schools these days are comprehensives, meaning that they accept students of every academic ability, but there was a system that's still in place in some areas of secondary modern and grammar schools. There, kids take a test at 11 to see what type of school they'll go to, the grammar schools being more academic and the secondary moderns more vocational.
Interesting.
Church schools. There's no separation of church and state in the UK, so many schools, both state and public, are church schools. Oddly, this doesn't translate into later church attendance, which is much lower in the UK than in the US. Sort of like how most people don't use algebra after the age of 18, I guess. Uniforms. Pretty much.
But you need to learn algebra as the building blocks for your future degree if you go to college, or as they say in the UK, if you go to university, which sounds much more fancy. And also I learned that we just call everything college here. Doesn't matter. You go to Berkeley University, Stanford University, but everyone says, where are you going to college? Oh, I'm going to Stanford. Oh, I'm going to UCLA. Whereas over there, I've learned there's a university, but there's also college, which is like our community college. That was a long explanation. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be informative as well on our side on the differences.
Pretty much all schools have some kind of uniform, ranging from a school jumper all the way up to the white tie and tails that they wear at Eton. The idea behind it is to create a sense of identity and school pride. See? Still fits. Prefects. In British schools, older students can be chosen to be prefects. Being a prefect sounds super cool, but in reality it mostly entails policing the lunch line and stopping the younger kids from hitting each other. You do get a cool badge though, so that's something.
There we go.
Most schools
Does
also
sound
have a
nice.
head boy and a head girl who attend school council meetings and give a speech at prize giving at the end of the year. Oh, prize giving is the closest thing that we have to a graduation ceremony.
What are your graduation ceremonies like? That's a funny term that I've never heard of, what she said there. Is it the same-ish as ours? You know, play the music, you walk down, every name is said. I wish I had a picture. I guess I do have a picture of me graduating somewhere, but it's not around here, else I'd pull it up. But I want to know what your graduations are like in college. I mean, I had a graduation in every school. A little cute, fun graduation in elementary school. Graduation in middle school, which was actually really cool. It's the best graduation that I've ever done from our location that we were at.
Exams. National exams are a huge part of the British school experience. It's all very simple. You take GCSEs at 16 and then A-levels at 18, which are kind of like AP exams, but different. Also, in Scotland, they study for Highers instead of A-levels, and GCSEs used to be called O-levels. Also, AS levels happen in the middle of A-levels. Look, this is the most complicated bit, I promise. Revision.
It's complicated
This
here,
is
too.
just what we call studying for exams. It's not a biggie, just a lot of people seemed confused about it. Juniors and seniors. Instead of the American system of elementary school, middle school, and so on, most British schools are divided into juniors and seniors. Junior school, also called primary school, is for 4 to 11-year-olds,
heard.
and senior school is for 11 to 18-year-olds. At some public schools, they divide it up a little differently. They have pre-prep from 4 to 7, prep from 7 to 13, and then senior from 13 to 18.
Was I completely wrong? Was secondary schools even a thing now? Now I'm all confused. I'm confused.
Sixth form. The last 2 years of school is called the sixth form, divided into the lower sixth and upper sixth. The name is a hangover from a previous, more complicated system of naming classes which has stuck around for some reason. In many schools, sixth formers are given a lot more freedom than the other students, often being allowed to wear their own clothes instead of school uniform.
Wow.
Cool. University.
Did you go to a school where you had to wear a uniform? I did not. I wore this pretty much, minus the basketball shorts, and probably the hat. Although every once in a while I did wear a hat. I went to a public school, or your state schools. And yeah, we wore whatever we wanted. We had a dress code, of course. No uniforms. Never been at a school with uniforms. But I'd just like to know, is that much more of a common theme if you're British?
You apply to do a single subject at British universities and only study that one thing. No maths or language requirements or any of that other stuff that you have to do at American colleges. Bachelor's degrees generally take 3 years, and you know what, let's just cover this in another video, it's very complicated. So there we go. Are there any things about British schools that you have questions about? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also, if you have any other questions about British culture, you can tweet us at Anglophenia, and maybe your topic will be covered in a...
Thank you, Anglophenia. That was a good video. That was good. That was quick, precise. I talked a lot. Hopefully I gave a flavor of what it's like here in the US compared to in the UK. But I would like to know those differences. You know, the schools, have you worn uniforms? Even the tests, we take a lot of tests here. It seems like we're always taking the STAR test. You know, there's so many tests throughout the year that we're taking, so many questions, and so much time. That's why this is great. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions for me and for my school here, it could be anything specific about what's your school in Southern California like. And on that note, real quick, like the movies you see all the times, they have these really nice indoor interior lockers that are as tall, if not taller than them. We didn't have that here. We had these small square lockers outside that you could hardly fit a couple books in. It was not nice. So yeah, back on track. Ask me any questions. I'll try to answer them all. I try to go through all the comments, and we'll get in a good discussion and move on from here, on to university and see the differences. If you like this, stick around for the next one whenever I do it pretty soon, because this one was very good. And let me know your thoughts about this and your experience in school. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on learning and have a good rest of your day.